Hey guys, this news kind of ruined my evening yesterday. I thought I was finally able to enjoy a quiet night for dinner outside, but halfway while traveling, this news came out, and then I got bombarded by quite some calls and texts from both current clients and also viewers lah. So, I thought why not we talk about this a little bit. So, since there was quite a bit of confusion, and I would say actually quite a little bit of panic button, because a lot of people are wondering how come the newer GLS should have been selling more expensive, right? The newer it is, the more expensive. But how come it is selling so much cheaper? Okay, I think since the previous one that I talked about, Tembusu, which is quite a few months ago, we really highlighted this issue that there could be there is a over supply problem, very very prominent in the D15 area, which a lot of people they tend to ignore because I understand it's a typical thing. They love D15, they are a big fan of D15. And people who love D15 like to look down on people who don't love D15, and they're like, they think other areas of Singapore are like ulu as hell, not as worthy, whichever it is. So today we look at this again, whether D15 is actually the best choice. Yes, it may be a what they call it, fan favorite, but is it actually the best choice when it comes to investment? Anyway, let's just dive straight into the article by Business Times. Let's see, there's only two bids, whereas on the other side, the EC in Tampines easily drew 7 bidders. So why are all the developers not going to Jalan Tembusu and all going towards the EC? Right? You see, EC there's only so much you can stage the price generally, because you need to keep it within MSR. Whereas TDSR you can run faster, so it will be a better profit margin for the developer. Whether how much you want to sell is up to you, as long as you can sell. Whereas EC, they usually tend to be a control due to the MSR limitation. But over here, Jalan Tembusu, there's only 2 bids, although there are easily 800 plus units, which is quite attractive. Quite a big site. Location quite decent. Some people like to say, the east side, best side, whichever, or the typical things that you hear lah. I'm not gonna repeat them lah. But come out it's not just the 2 bids that is surprising. It's more of the PSF PPR. I expected it to be lower than even Tembusu Grand's. I think it was 1,003, but honestly, I didn't expect it to be that low. Wow, it's like I myself shocked. 1,003. That was the most way. It was like 1,003 in January 2022. Okay, let's just, instead of going by memory, let's just see. Okay, this is the Tembusu Grand. This was sold at the start of last year. So from the start of last year till now, it's like more than 1.5 years. How come that time they were selling this? Grand Diamond was selling just a little bit more, 50 PSF more, half a year later. If you account into inflation, in fact, there wasn't almost like a MRT premium given the land price, right? But after 1.5 years later, instead of going up to maybe, let's say, example, 1,004, if you factor in, here, jump to here, 1,004. But instead of 1,004, it has gone all the way down to 1,000 plus. So there were some factors involved, but mainly I would say there is a lack of confidence in the area, simply because there is simply way too much supply. But a lot of people choose to ignore it. You choose to, east side is the best side, or this side is for the atas area, the other side, Lentor, whichever is for those people who cannot make it, the low SCS, whichever people are. I'm not saying this myself, disclaimer. These are typically what people who love D15, who die there want to buy D15, they say yada yada here and there lah. So we are. I'm too used to these kind of things where people like to say whatever they like, and then choose to shoot down other people's location. But then we see back in 2013 where there were developments in very very ulu, or people who don't really want or like, actually making more money than places that were even more I would say more attractive to the average crowd. So back to this, It was in fact 1.5 years later, it was still sold 18% lower than the one by CDL, which is Tembusu Grand lah, and 21% lower than Grand Diamond. Previously, Tembusu Grand was they were like 8 bits, and then this one was like only 2 bits, which is the big difference when it comes to interest level from developer. Previously, people were snatching for it. This one is like barely people even fighting, and the winning margin, which was the interesting, I would say very 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 interesting part, was that there was only 800,000, and if you look at the price, this is a big quantum, 800 plus million for a piece of land. You guys know how much 800 million is? This is a huge amount of money, and can't be the calculating those who are the valuation team, they are that close, right? I don't know, something must be wrong lah. I feel something must be wrong, but who am I to speculate? So let's move on from here. That's just something I feel is a little bit more interesting. As you can see over here, developers are very wary about the supply of new private homes in the vicinity. Then we have a saturation. Despite popularity, you see, super popular, but they will be said they are worried that there can be a saturation in this area, which not surprising at all. I have been pointing it out. Yes, there are population. Yeah, there's a very popular spot. But if you look at the surrounding supply, those that are sold, Grand Diamond 50+%, Continuum currently now about 30+%, the Tembusu Grand still about 50-something%, and then there are the big units that you cannot, that most of them are still not moving well. How is this guy gonna come in at 800 plus and still manage to sell well and with very very healthy profit? So there can only generally be either you have a lot of bidders who bid but all bid at very low price, or you have very few bidders who bid and they bid very close to each other, which I think was obviously the second case in this sense lah. Currently there are already 2,000 plus, and then still got 1,300 units still unsold at the 3 of them currently. Other things such as market headwinds and cooling measures, higher interest rates, and then rising construction costs. Then also this one is more of the harmonization thing from the different agencies, and then certain things like the icon ledge cannot be sold as part as not including the GFA anymore, which kind of lowers developers' profit margin. And with all this uncertainty, going forward, I don't think they even have a solid plan or what's gonna come up. Probably some developers are going to come up with something very very interesting concept, who knows, because last time we had bay windows, punter boxes, and then we suddenly hop onto other things here and there. So I think developers now are still coming with their own patterns. There's still quite a lot of uncertainty. That's why they don't want to throw a higher bid and test the system, and that's why they wouldn't want to be too aggressive in this sense, especially in a place with a lot of supplies, and therefore they have to have a conservative bid price. And this one we have seen already. Continuum is in a slightly different situation because of the freehold, but I wouldn't say they are totally free from this problem. Even though they have this, they are unique out of the four of them. But the price is quite a bit of difference. Some people say 20% profit margin, but look at this. Okay, and if you look at this, of course, all these, remember, all these are estimated. Please, estimated. A lot of people treat this chart like some holy script or something. It is not. It is just an estimation. It is never accurate. All these are just based on Edgeport's formula, and then they agar how much. But just because their calculation here is 1,009 doesn't mean they will sell at 1,009. For those of you who are going panicky, thinking it's gonna have a fire sale, start cheering, or those people who already bought the 3 developments, they really start crying. Save your tears for now first. Maybe you want to cry, but you will cry lesser. Very very unlikely they're gonna sell at 1,009. Come on, how are they gonna sell at 1,009? After all this trouble, they are not gonna sell at 1,009 because they still need to make margin. They still need to make a profit margin, right? But what happens is that they are able to sell at a lower price than the current few launches, which are out of the 3. I think the Tembusu Grand is just a little bit lower at 2,400 plus. They can sell maybe 2,002, 2,001 even, and that is where these three guys will have a little bit of problem because this one is not going to be a small development. This is actually quite a huge development. If I'm not wrong, even bigger than, yes, correct, even bigger than Tembusu Grand, just a little bit bigger than Tembusu Grand. Okay, so this is a true competitor. And previously, a lot of people thinking they bought into the pitch. Remember, I think since last year I was talking about it since for Landor, and then earlier this year I was talking about the Tembusu side. That oversupply is always going to be a problem, regardless how rich these people are. Yes, I know they are able to afford, but once you have an oversupply problem, we have people with different tastes. Some people maybe want to go for a freehold, some people want to go for MRT, some people want to go for, I don't know, what does Tembusu Grand have? Just the more ulu. I mean, yeah, you can have good schools or whatever it is, but ultimately it's still all within the same vicinity. All these are competition with each other, and this one is like 800 plus units. I think they bought in thinking that this guy is gonna be, okay, let's just use this guy is gonna be the messiah, it's gonna be the hero that's gonna pull out. That's why I put the Superman logo over here. Is it always gonna be a hero? No. If the government wants to clamp the prices in this area, they will definitely do something about it, which is what they have been doing. They can't be this one abroad already, then after that this one, then after that followed by this one, then so coincidentally they launch this one. Here there's already no real shortage of supply for houses in this area. Then why are they in such a rush? I think the intent is very obvious from the government. It is the very clear signal from them that they want to control the prices in this area. Okay, and will this actually be the Superman? I really don't think so, because instead of the Superman that helps, why am I saying Superman? As some of my videos previously we mentioned before, what will save all these three from all this oversupply problem is that if this guy comes in and sell at a much higher price, for example maybe 3,000 PSF, but instead of selling at a superhero price, he's gonna sell at a indie hero price. Very likely This is very likely gonna sell cheaper than all three of them, I would think so, and they have the leeway to do so. So before you go all batshit crazy crying and whatever, or maybe even for those who haven't buy yet, you want to wait, let's just think about there are other developments also buying. They got a land at a much cheaper price, but do they always sell super cheap? No. It's like today some of the HDB, the old ones, they bought last time 40,000, 50,000, or maybe even just a little bit more. But today, if let's say surrounding sells 800,000, do they have to sell at 300,000? No, they can always sell at 750,000, 700,000, 800,000. They have the flexibility. That's why Symbian is being the new developer is in this area. I'm not saying they are new. Okay, being the newest entry in this area, is very unlikely, in my opinion, that they will be selling at 1,900, 2,000. So you don't have to worry about that, because they know that people here are willing to accept 2,004 and above. So why do they need to sell that kind of price? Maybe if they want to move sales, they will sell cheaper. I mean, if I were them, I would sell cheaper. I would sell maybe 2,001, 2,002, and maybe go up to 2,004, 2,005 towards a higher end, and I can still easily move the units. Because after all, I'm the newest in the area, and I'm still selling cheaper. So this actually gives this particular piece of land an advantage over here. But like I said, before you go batshit crazy again, there is still a oversupply problem, and all these four of them are within very close age gap, and they will always be replaceable competitors with each other, with one another. Okay, so remember, this one is still ultimately a 99 year piece of land. So unless all the other old ones, old freeholds they are like more expensive, or they are really caught up a lot in terms of prices. If not, then this one will find it even harder. We'll find it harder along with the rest to move. Okay, and before you go also thinking, confused, whatever it is, remember this one I just showed the last video. Back in 2013, where the market was on a peak, like similar to where we are right now, was this the only choice for those people? Were these the only choice for those people who were looking back in 2013? No, right? There were other choices, right? So if somebody wants to, okay, maybe if somebody die wants to stay in Tanah Merah, they will have to choose here lah. But if somebody wants to buy and then make money, they want to profit, and then they want to be a little bit more prudent, must they buy into this area? Must they buy into this place with the MRT right beside? No need, right? If you are after all buying for investment, you want to make sure you grow your money, then I'm very sure even at the previous market peak, there were developments that were of a good buy. Okay, for those of you who are wondering, then of course just need to give me a text and I'll see whether I'll be able to share lah. But of course, certain things I won't share publicly. Certain things I would only share with my current clients. Like example, my current clients, one of them, they called me yesterday, and then I'll share more interesting details of my research with them. Quite a lot of factors. We are looking deeper into why the Jalan Tembusu Prop B was selling that kind of price. We dug deeper down, and then we of course I share with my inner circle lah. But well, there's only so much that things can be shared in public mah, because certain things shouldn't be also shared in public due to confidentiality purposes. But anyway, so to cut the story short, the new plot came out. A lot of people expected it to be a hero, but unfortunately, it seems that the hero has fallen. He has fallen short of being a hero, unfortunately. Therefore, I think for those of you who still want to buy into this area, I think very likely you will be buying into this area cheaper next year if you want to stay in this area. But if you are buying for investment, maybe to make money in the next few years, that as usual, I'm sticking to my point. I don't change my point of view. I don't change based on my analysis. Usually it's like a mid to long term kind of view. I don't flip flop around my view. So I'm very certain my views are not going to change that easily either. So based on what I see right now, I don't think the prices are going to run haywire, because it seems that government is very, very keen to stop all these things from running haywire lah, from the sort of stop all the D15 prices from going running all haywire. Okay, that will be all we have for today. And then if you got any other questions, or you feel any confusion over the market right now with all these headwinds going all around, then feel free to text me and I'll see how I can help. Okay, see you guys. Bye bye.